mayor and see if she. Welcome to the Livingston Parish regular scheduled council meeting. Today is September 25th, 2025, 6 p.m. All advertisement has been pushed out and media has been notified. Ms. Sandifer has the invocation tonight.
I was wondering if Ms. Teal would open us up. Would you open us up?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Sandy, will you call the roll?
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Ms. Sandifer. Here. Mr. Goff. On the way. Mr. Wascom. Here. Mr. Mangus. Here. Mr. Erdy.
Here.
Mr. Shavers.
Here.
Mr. Watts. Here. Mr. Coates.
Here.
We're all present.
All right. As a reminder, please silence all cell phones. Anybody wishing to have public comment on an agenda item tonight, we ask that you fill out a card on that agenda item, hand it to our beautiful staff up here today. We've got a long agenda tonight. I'm going to move down from 4 minutes to 3 minutes. If you have a card, if you feel compelled to speak on something that you didn't have a card for, it'll be the standard 2 minutes. Make sure you address the council and nobody in the audience, and please be respectful to one another. So we do not have any presentations today. So number 9. Introduction of an ordinance. Ms. Sandy, would you read that?
This will be proposed ordinance 25-22. It's an ordinance providing for the incurrence of debt and issuance of not to exceed $91,290,000 of sales tax revenue bonds of the Parish of Livingston, State of Louisiana, prescribing the form, terms, and conditions of said bonds, designating the date, denomination, and place of payment of said bonds, providing for the payment thereof in principal and interest, approving and confirming the sale of such bonds, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. The public hearing will be held on October the 9th at 6 p.m.
All right, so this is just an introduction. So is there a motion? Got a motion by Councilman Watts, second by Councilman Wascom. Vote on your iPad. There we go. That passed unanimous. We're going to go out of order a little bit tonight. I'm going to move number 19 to now, just because I was asked to by Mr. Wascom, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of section 125-17 building lines for Creekstone Jubin 1 LLC located on Jubin Crossing Boulevard in Council District 4, Mr. John Wascom.
Thank you so much, Ms. Taylor. I'd ask that this be placed on the agenda. As you know, Jubin Crossing is doing a great job, bringing a lot of revenue into this parish, and because of that, we're having a major connection road between Pete's Highway and Jubin Road. 4-lane highway. It's going to be fantastic. It's well needed, and excuse me, and collaborating with independent business owners like this is how you get things done. What this is, evidently, it's with that planned subdivision with the retail and everything, there's a section for residential, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there's someone here, Mr. Crawford, can maybe answer some questions as well. But with the residential, they want to have the servitudes, the parking, and everything in the back. And I think it causes the setback on the front to be a little different than what our specific ordinance is. But because this specific variance would, in the future, there would really never be a reason to widen the road because they're already putting in a 4-lane highway in front of it. So we'd be long gone before this would ever affect, or even our grandkids would be gone. So, and plus there's a big median in the middle. I think it's the variance. So I've mentioned to Mr. Crawford, and I think he spoke with the administration. They're good with it. So I'd like to just make a motion that we give the waiver for Jubin, what's it, Creekstone? Creekstone Jubin LLC,
Jubin.
located on Jubin Crossing Boulevard.
So that's a motion by Councilman Wascom, second by Councilman Mangus. I'm going to open it up for public comment if anybody would like to speak on this. No? All right, I'm going to close public comment. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous.
Real quick, while we're on that, I know they're talking about some of the future businesses that are coming, just for good measure. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Target, Burlington Coat Factory, Celebration Station, help me out,
Dick's
Scott.
Sporting Goods.
They can't. They
Dick's
can't.
Sporting Goods.
Okay, well, I know there might be some that we're not supposed to talk about, but I'm just letting you know, it's really an exciting time for Livingston Parish, especially Jubin Crossing. So thank y'all so much for your support.
All right, we're going to move to Parish President's Report. So, Florida Parish Human Services Authority Board. So I got a email from Mr. Browning saying that the Florida Parish Board gave us a recommendation of Deborah B. Oh, I'm going to mess that up. Propag. Yeah.
Get Mr. Joe to say that last name.
Mr. Joe, can you say that last name?
There you go.
Croprog.
Guys, I
And so-
want to make something clear here. This was their recommendation, but it's actually your appointment, so you don't have to take that recommendation. It's your appointment.
Yeah, so I've read over her resume, and it is an outstanding resume. And now I can't make any motions to approve it, but if anybody...
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Goff, second by Councilwoman Sandiford. All vote on your iPad. All right, that passed 8 yeas, 1 absent. Councilman Shavers was the absent. Number 2, ratify the appointment of Brandon Browning, sworn in on May 16, 2024. Okay, so I got the story behind this. As soon as we took into office, President Randy Lapp was called by the Florida parishes and was, hey, you have an appointment that you need to make, and so did not know that it needed to come to the council to get ratified. So he made the appointment. Yes, sir.
Not only ratified, it is your appointment, not my
It is.
appointment.
It is our appointment.
So if you choose someone else, that's your appointment.
So
Good
he's
answer.
been doing this for over a year. I've talked to him about it several times. I think that he's a good fit for it. He's been working with this. So if anybody's got a motion to ratify him from,
I'll make a motion.
got a motion from Councilman Shavers, second by Councilwoman Sandiford. Vote on your iPad. That vote was unanimous, yes. Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, does that mean he comes out your budget now? I'll pay it.
I have
You know I'll pay
I have a paper bag for you. Inside joke.
Mr. Chair, we present the budget.
Absolutely. Here's your opportunity. It is not on the agenda, but we'll,
It's just a submission that, right,
No.
no, so there's no vote. So we're required by the Home Rule Charter to submit you guys a budget by September 30th. So this is just the first draft for
Okay.
September, for you guys to familiarize yourself with the numbers, look over it. I extended some invitations, and I extended it to every member to come in. We'll go over it line by line item, bring it up on the board, tell you guys what we're looking at, where they come from, and where we think they're gonna be at the end of '25, and then what we hope to anticipate in '26.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at. You also have before you the financial statement for August, which is a year-to-date budget to actual for all the funds that you get monthly, along with a check listing, which is in alphabet order. And then I did highlight a few things that may be of interest. The CEA opioid prevention that we have with the school board, some drainage improvement that we did, and the fire stations. So the fire stations all received their 2% fire rebate check, and then it was a little bit over $1 million that we issued out to all the fire. Not all of them each got the $1 million, but it just, was dispersed accordingly. So again, if you have any questions with the budget or the financials, we're there usually at least 4 to 7 days a week. You can give us a call at any time, and y'all do have our cell numbers.
4 to 7 days a week.
4 to 7.
Make sure you
4 to 7,
Okay.
usually 7. But
take Sunday off. Take Sunday off.
We can meet Sunday if that
No,
accommodates
I
your schedule.
said take
okay?
Sunday off. We don't want to see you on Sunday.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we're available.
I thank you for
All right, thank you.
presenting that and being available for us. Livingston Parish Grants Department. Miss Sandy, would you read the first one?
My mic on, sorry about that. This is proposed ordinance 25-21. It's an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4277-DR-LA-0131- Livingston Parish. The homeowner is Vincent Ruiz III and Jody Lee Ruiz. The address is 308 Carpenter Street, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726.
All right, so I'm going to open this up for a public hearing. Is anybody here to speak on behalf of this? Do we have any cards? No cards? All right, I'm going to close public hearing. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion from Councilman Wascom, second by Councilman Shavers. Anybody have anything to say? Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous, 9 yeas. Bravo, Miss Sandy, will you read that one?
Microphone on. This is an introduction of an ordinance. This is proposed ordinance 25-23. It's an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4277-DR-LA-0131- Livingston Parish. The public hearing will be held on October the 9th at 6 p.m.
All right, this is just an introduction. Do I have a motion?
If it
It
is,
is.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Wascom, second by Councilwoman Sandiford. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous with 9 yeas. C, Miss Sandy, would you read that one?
This will be proposed ordinance 25-24. It's an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4277-DR-LA-0131- Livingston Parish. The public hearing will be held on October the 9th at 6 p.m.
All right, as this is an introduction, do I have a motion?
So
Got a
moved.
motion by Councilman Wascom, second by Councilwoman Sandiford. Vote on your iPad. That passed with 9 yeas. D, Miss Sandy, will you read that one?
Okay, this one will be proposed ordinance 25-25. It's an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4277-DR-LA-0131- Livingston Parish, and the public hearing will be held on October the 9th at 6 p.m.
All right,
Motion.
got a motion by Councilwoman Sandiford, second by Councilman Watts. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous.
I just want to bring to your attention that they were all 100% funded. There was no match, all 100%.
Thank you. All right, 12, Livingston Parish Planning Commission rezoning request. Case number 25-38, 9102 Dabney Drive, parcel 0093302, 2 lots from R1 to C1. This is in Council District 4. This had a recommendation to approve by the Planning and Zoning. I'm going to open this up for public comment if anybody here to speak for or against this. All right, I'm going to close that. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. That, we've already talked about that, I believe, in the council meeting as well, and that area should have been commercial all along, so I'd make the motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Wascom. Got a second by Councilman Watts. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous. B, case number 25-39, 10075, Hemisphere Lane, parcel number 0065482, 2 lots from R2 to R1, Council District 5. The recommendation for this was to deny, and it was unanimous to deny. Councilwoman Sanford?
Motion to deny.
All right, so we got a...
Oh, I do, okay.
So we do have, I'm going to open this for public comment.
Miss Christie?
Miss Christie?
Miss Linda?
No. My name is Linda Garofola. I'm at 9981 Anna Margaret Lane. To the respected members of our Livingston Parish Council, we, the residents of Anna Margaret Lane, respectfully submit this letter in opposition to the rezoning request for the property located at 10075 Hemisphere Lane from residential R2 to residential R1. While we understand the property owner's desire to provide separate housing for their adult child, we firmly believe this rezoning would have a significant and detrimental impact on our community and the surrounding area. As the Livingston Parish Planning Department, who has expertise in these matters, has already voted to deny the rezoning request, we respectfully ask that you follow the same recommendation and also deny the request. Our objections are based on the following critical concerns. 1, undermining property values. The introduction of a mobile or manufactured home would not only devalue the specific property, but would directly threaten the financial investments we have all made in our homes. Multiple studies and real estate analysis, including those by the National Association of Realtors, consistently show that placing mobile homes in single-family residential areas causes a measurable decline in the value of surrounding properties. 2, irreversible precedent and erosion of community character. Our neighborhood is defined by its single-family site-built homes. Granting this rezoning request would set a dangerous precedent, effectively opening the floodgates to similar requests. This would fundamentally alter the established character of our community, leading to a slow but certain decline in the quality of life and aesthetic appeal of our neighborhood. 3, straining public services. An increase in density, even a small one, will place an unnecessary burden on local infrastructure and public services, including water, sanitation, and traffic. This rezoning could lead to a precedent that strains these vital resources in the long run. We urge you to consider the long-term well-being and stability of our community and deny this rezoning request. By upholding the current zoning, you will preserve the character and value of our residential neighborhood for all residents. We thank you for your time and consideration in this manner. Sincerely, the concerned residents of Anna Margaret Lane. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there another? If you wouldn't mind, come up, state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Christy Guilford. I'm at 9980 Anna Margaret Lane in Denham Springs. I'm also speaking on behalf of our residents in Anna's Place subdivision in Denham Springs. Linda spoke about the specific item on the agenda today, and I would like to take a step back and have us all look at the big picture. Honorable members of the Livingston Parish Council, we all appreciate that in the wake of the 2016 flood, our government leaders worked effectively to solve a difficult problem by allowing temporary mobile homes for residents who were rebuilding their lives and homes. Our community showed immense strength, compassion, and resilience during the flood and its trying aftermath. And our families, like many others, were grateful for the kindness of our neighbors, the support of our community, and the resourceful ideas of our government. Mobile home waivers were a good thing to do in 2016, but the flood is over, nearly a decade behind us. Now is the time to suspend widespread mobile home waivers and embrace a forward-thinking vision. What do we want our great parish to look like 5, 10, 20, even 30 years from now? We contend that to create a thriving, sustainable, and proud community that attracts businesses and enhances neighborhoods, we must shift our focus. Your website notes that, and I quote, Livingston Parish has been and continues to be one of the fastest growing parishes in our state, and we, its residents, would like to see it continue to grow and prosper. Considering the fact that the Livingston Parish Planning Department has already voted no to the rezoning, it's now in your hands, and we urge you to consider this new approach. The presence of mobile homes in subdivisions, no matter how helpful in the past, risks becoming a permanent aesthetic that detracts from our parish's long-term vision. Some of our Anna's Place neighbors have been involved in successful community revitalization projects and have witnessed firsthand how focused energy, innovative ideas, and proper resources can enliven and completely transform struggling areas. So we urge you to consider this new approach, one that invests our time, energy, and funds into projects that will genuinely build and sustain a community that flourishes, stands out, and is the envy of other parishes in our great state. By shifting our resources toward strategic development and away from temporary solutions, we can shape a vibrant, sustainable community for generations to come. The question is this: do we want to be a community of mobile homes in our subdivisions, or does the council have a different vision for Livingston Parish? Thank you for your service and your attention to this critical issue, and we look forward to supporting you in your leadership in shaping a proud and prosperous future for Livingston Parish.
Thank you. All right, so Councilwoman Sanford had a motion to accept the recommendation. Got a second by Councilman Mangus. Vote on your iPad.
Motion to deny. Motion to deny.
Yeah, that was to accept the recommendation. You're accepting their recommendation. That passed unanimous, 9 yeas. All right, case C, number 25-40, 29663 South Satsuma Road, parcel number 0237073, 2 lots, SNB and Ag to R1, Council District 1. The recommendation was to approve with 8 yeses and 1 absent. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Watts, second by Councilman Mangus. I'm going to open this up for public comment if there's anybody that want to speak on it. Close for public comment. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous with 9 yeses. Case D, 25-41, 29659 South Satsuma Road, parcel number 0237073 Alpha SNB to R1, Council District 1. Got a recommendation by Councilman Watts. Second by Councilman Mangus. That was D. All right, I'm going to open it up for public comment. Nobody on public comment? Nope. Okay, vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous with 9 yeses. Case E, 25-12, 35576 Old Hammond Highway 16, parcel number 0025494, two lots C1 and Ag to R2. This had a recommendation of approval. Let me get to that screen. It was 5 yeses, 3 noes, and 1 absent. Is there a motion? I'll open up for public comment. I mean, that was 1 abstain, not 1 absent.
Good evening. My name's Brian Fontenot. I live at 35576 Old LA Highway 16. After the public meeting at the Denham Springs Walker Library branch on 11/19/2024, I was called by a friend and told me I need to look at the zoning of my property. After reviewing the zoning map and verifying the information that he told me, I contacted my councilman, Mr. Brian Schaefer's, on 11/20/2024. During the discussion with Mr. Schaefer's, I informed him that I didn't want my property zoned ag or commercial. He told me that he could zone my property either ag or all commercial, and that I didn't have a choice. Several months later, I found the council meetings on YouTube channel AN17 and began to watch them. I watched the meeting where Mr. Taylor and Mr. DeLatte stated to the people they could still make rezoning requests and the fees would be waived to do so. I felt like Mr. Shavers has deprived me of my due process rights by not informing me of the process required for a rezoning request during our phone conversation 3 months earlier. After doing some research on Facebook, I noticed a comment on a post made by Mr. Shavers in August of 2024 stating it will be the residence map. There will be a public hearing on it just like everyone else, and people can request for rezones. Why wasn't I told this earlier on the November phone call?
Yeah, you have 20 seconds.
I went to the Planning and Zoning Department and filled out a request for rezoning of my property R2. It was approved by the department and put on the agenda for the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. During this meeting, some of the members of the commission tried to get me to change my zoning request to a different category other than I was asking for. After a lengthy discussion and arguments between members, I withdrew my request. Then I attended the Livingston Parish Master Plan Update meeting held at the Live Oak High School on June 18th. There I listened to the WSP presentation and reviewed the future land use map. During that time, I had a discussion with Mr. Nathan Lipson about why my property and the 8 residential houses on this parish road were being zoned commercial. He said he would look into it. Moments later, he approached me and gave me a copy of the character area summary table and informed me that according to the future land use map, my property would be in the mixed use category, which includes C1, CI, R2, R4, and R5. He stated there was reason I could ask for R2 residential. Next, I went to the P&C department, talked to Mr. Scooter King. We determined that R2 was the only thing in the mixed-use corridor category that did not require a site plan for rezoning. I asked him to resubmit my application to the next P&Z meeting. It was placed on the agenda for September 4, 2025 meeting and was approved by the commission. On September 23rd of 2025, Mr. Schaefer's made a post on his District 62 Council Facebook stating that my property was 44 acres with a potential of 132 homes and an average of 260 additional cars, which was completely false. Information given to the public. He later corrected his post to say it was 27 acres with a potential of 81 homes and 160 additional cars. Neither statement was accurate because it didn't include the land needed for infrastructure, which would mean even less homes. Second, my wife mentioned the traffic count done on March 2024 showing the levels of traffic nearby. Mr. Shavers then went on to insult civil and traffic engineers at DOTD by saying they don't know the area of the parish and aren't really credible in all of the traffic studies they do. My wife stated that it is not a traffic study is an actual traffic count and posted the map to show the actual count.
Sir, all right, I gave you 4 minutes. All right, that's our, I need you to wrap it up.
I just got a couple more sentences, and I'll be
You-
done, please, sir.
All right, I'm gonna give you 20 more seconds.
Mr. Schaefer then stated that spoken to unknown persons by saying, not according to your husband and people your husband have spoken to. You do not have the right to make hearsay statements and speak for me when you're not a party to any conversation I may or may not have. Then you stated there's a plan here and I know more than you think I know. I feel you were trying to intimidate me and my wife when you have no idea what we may or may not have planned to do with our property. All of this may be in a conflict of interest for you because on February of 2024, a
right.
member of your family
All right.
approached me about buying my property and developing it.
All right, sir.
I'd
right.
like to speak, please.
Can we get a motion? And then I'll.
I make a motion to accept at R1.
Is there a second? Got a second. So, to make it R1, you'd have to do I'm pretty sure we'd have to put it in to approve it as R2 and then to do a substitute motion because
Marty,
it is a.
Marty, can you please come up and speak to that?
So this is in Council District 2, not 1.
Yeah, this is Council
Correct.
District 2. Did I say one? Oh, it's a.
It's on listed on there as one.
Yeah.
The planning and zoning report was R2. As it comes before the council, it comes before the council as it's actually an ordinance amendment because you're amending the zoning ordinance to do this. It's come to you as R2. That can be amended to be something else if you want, or I've also seen occasions where there was a refusal to introduce the ordinance at all. So that, I think, is the council's prerogative.
Okay. So if they want to change it, then we should have a motion for it as R2 and then do a substitute motion to do it correctly, right?
That's probably the best way to do it. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that you have a motion on the floor to accept the recommendation, but then do a substitute motion to move it to R1. Because he wants to just
Can we
make a
just
motion
amend the
to.
motion? Can we just amend the ordinance?
I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do think recommendation. There it is. All right, so the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission was to approve it as R2. That recommendation comes to this council. My understanding is correct, Mr. Irving, tell me if I'm wrong, this council can do what they wish with that recommendation. You can accept it as is, or you can make a motion to just straight to make it R1 if that's what the council would rather prefer.
Or you could.
Or you could just deny it.
To deny it, right.
Right.
You've
Okay.
got
The
three
choice
options.
is yours.
I'm
Okay.
willing
You
to
can
go.
accept it, deny it, or you can amend it.
I just wanted to make sure we did it correctly.
I make a motion to categorize the property at R1.
All right, so I got a motion by Councilman Shavers to make this parcel into an R1. Got a second by Councilman Coates. Mr. Goff.
I got it. Sorry about that. So the request was R2. The gentleman, if he would come to the mic, what's his name again?
Christ.
Mr. Fontenot? So I just have a simple question because it's a drastic difference between R1 and R2. R1 is 1 acre and allows mobile homes on the property. R2 is homes only, but it does have a more of a density. So your wish was R2.
Yes,
So do you have a desire to be R1?
no,
So is it you don't have no desire whatsoever to be R1?
no,
None at all?
no.
You'd rather stay where you're at?
I like to stay where I'm
All
at.
right, thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Sanford.
Excuse me, Mr. Fontenot. I have a question for you. What are
You
your,
might,
what are
you might
your-
want to stay up here for just a second.
what are your plans? Do you have a plat map? Why do you want to be rezoned to R2?
I just feel for me and my family that the R2 would be our best.
So you want it for the property value of what you think R2 is?
We don't really know. We haven't decided what we're gonna do with it, but I just think I've got 20 acres of R2 to my on the south side of me that is undeveloped.
That's yours? Is that
No,
your property?
no, that's my
not your
neighbor.
property. Okay.
My neighbors on the south side is 20 acres of R2. I have an R2 subdivision developed on the east side of it. R1 across the road on the west side. And it borders some commercial on the north side on Commerce Lane.
Okay, so you're seeking to increase your property value, basically.
Well, everybody wants a better price for their property.
I understand that. I mean, I own 20 acres
But,
myself.
you know, my neighbor's 20 acres right there is R2 already. And then I
Okay.
have R2 subdivision touching my property. It makes no sense for me to be totally different.
With all due respect to you and your situation, serving the entire parish, I do need to say to you that if we zoned, first of all, we don't zone. We worked with planners. We worked with so many people across the parish to zone everything in the parish, and it was very tedious and complex. But if we zoned everyone based on the property value that they would like, we would have a hot mess.
I think my property, my opinion, my property was zoned like it is because in the WSP maps, they all had old LA 16 as 3285, which was the state number when it was a state road.
Okay.
It was handed over to the parish, I believe it was in 2013 when they built the new Live Oak High School. I worked for DOT and retired from DOTD. We took our money out of my budget for the parish of Livingston and St. Helena's maintenance and put 2 inches of fresh asphalt on old LA 16, and the parish did an exchange and took over old LA 16, and the highway department built the center turning lane on 16 for the high school.
Okay,
And
well,
I think that's why my property got that away, because Mr. Nathan, when I talked to him, he didn't understand why it was commercial.
I see the large, the 002, the parcel, the large parcel as ag. I see the large one as ag. So that, to me, when I look at that, knowing what I know, it looks like ag to me. Now, do you have a developer? I mean, if you have plans, then
No,
let's discuss.
The last developer I talked to was Ryan's family member, and that was,
Who is that?
I'm not mentioning names.
Well,
But-
how do we know?
That was back 8 months, 9 months before I talked to you in November. Would have been around February, March of 2024.
Okay, hang on. So I am trying to get the facts and understand you. When I look at this, I do see ag. If this were in my area, I would look at it and think, yep, that's ag. Now, this is what I know. In the future, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it does, clearly, to you. But in the future, if you had a developer that approached you and wanted to build R2, then they would come and ask for the rezone and present all of that with a plan. So you don't have a plan, correct?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And when I went to the public meeting and looked at the map that the council had approved and sent to the public meeting for everybody to see, it put my property in mixed use category, pink. I can show you the map.
I understand. And there were
And
people in my
at
district
time, and
that
I'd already been and asked for to and wound up in a commission meeting with commissioners fighting back and forth and trying to convince me to do something different.
yeah.
okay?
I understand.
So the second time I went back to them, I presented the map that was the pink mixed use. In the mixed use, it allows for R2, R3, well, 3 was inactive, but R2, R4, R5, C1, and CI. The only one of those that you can rezone to, from my information, without a plan is R2.
You are clearly not mixed use, sir. In my opinion, I do not see mixed use
I didn't
anywhere
make
here.
the map, ma'am. I just looked at it and went by what I was told.
I understand, and in District 5, I've got the hot area of South Juban, and there was some back and forth over what, we do have to apply the law. There are rules and things that we have to follow, and so I'm assuming that it was before it was adopted, and it was back and forth, and you were probably watching the online map, is that correct?
I saw that,
Okay.
and that was posted quite a while. Then they posted another map, and it's not fair. I asked for R2 the first time. I didn't get it because I pulled my application because of the bickering and fighting between the members of the commission, not me.
Okay.
Then I came back to the commission, and they talked about it, and they discussed it again, and I asked for the R2 again. They passed it. I don't see the problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Shavers?
Yeah, so I'm not going to address social media comments. I stand by what I said on everything in that post and every one of those comments. I'm not going to be hiding behind a desk or hiding behind my phone. I stand by what I said. And I don't know who you're referring to as a family member. You talk about you don't know conversations. Well, you don't know who I'm related to and who I'm not, and you won't say his name, so therefore that's not credible either. So I'm going to go into the property that's touching Mr. Fontenot's property. One thing he and I can agree on is that the property was incorrectly zoned. And that doesn't go just for his property, but everything around it and behind it. So the property that touches his property, that is R2, is 9 acres. The second property, and it's 1 or 2 houses on each. This isn't a subdivision of 9 acres. This is just a large tract of land. The other one is 6.5 acres. The other one is 0.1 acre. The other one is 1 acre. The subdivision behind him that backs up to him, one lot is 1.5 acre. Another lot is 1 acre. Another lot is 0.8 acres. Another lot is 0.7. Another one is 1 acre. So the lots are not, they are not lined as R2. They are R1 properties around him. And just because it says, and it's dark yellow, and everybody says it's R2, well, that's what his property needs to be, that is zoned incorrectly. That is not what the properties are. And if you put him at R2, compared to what actually is built around that area, you could potentially cause problems with drainage, with infrastructure. I have had school bus drivers call me whenever they found out about all this, saying, we are concerned about this. There's 2 major intersections. Old Highway 16 is less than half a mile long. It's got 2 schools on it, and kids walk to school. Kids that live in the subdivision across the street walk to that school. It's a junior high and an elementary school. And I've had concerns called to me. I just can't support R2. And the reason why I cannot support R2 is because of the safety concern of the traffic. We already have to have Jason R. direct traffic at 1019 and Old Highway 16 because traffic backs up all the way to Will Allen Road. It's just not feasible. And I've tried to call Mr. Bryan a couple of times, and his text message to an individual at the planning department is, why is Ryan Shavers calling me? Well, I had every intention of pulling it tonight because he wouldn't return my phone calls. But I'm willing to work with him despite what he thinks of me, and I'm willing to give him R1, but it appears that he is stuck on R2. He don't even know why he wants R2. There's been conflicting stories. Family members of his have called me about what all has happened with this property and what developers he's talked to, and it just is not feasible for that area for R2. I support R1 100%, but I just cannot get behind R2. He doesn't have a plan. He says he hasn't talked to developers. His family members have told me that he has. It's just all around a confusing situation. So, again, that's the issues with the property. Everything around it is not R2. The actual property is R1 or ag compared to what's actually built.
All right, Councilwoman Sanford.
I just have one more thing. Can we get legal on this? And here's where I'm going with it. I live on 20 acres. I want to rezone mine so I can get ultimate property value. I'm zoned ag. Let's just do it right now. Can we, I'm kidding just for the record. Can we zone something according to what the property owner wants to do to increase their property value with?
Okay. The requirements for zoning is that there has to be a public health and safety basis for the zoning of the property, and you cannot deprive the property owner of any economic use of his property. So the zoning classification has to allow the property owner to use his property. It doesn't have to be the best use in the world or the worst, but he has to be able to use his property in the category that it's zoned. And the zoning decision must have a public health and safety reason behind it. And I strongly advocate the discussions have, specifically specifying the public health and safety concerns. So that's the two requirements. Do you have to give somebody the zoning that has their property be the highest value that's possible? No, you don't. But they do have to be able to have an economic use of their property, and you do have to have a public health and safety reason for the decision.
So it does open up a potential situation parish-wide. I have had similar situations in the Jubin Road area. To me, it seems like we would be opening up a legal can of worms that we can't get the lid back on. Would you agree with that or no?
Well, there's a policy decision there that I don't necessarily know the answer to, but I can tell you there has to be a public health and safety reason for the zoning decision. That's the reason that you do the master plans, so that these issues can be considered, and that's why there's so much thought and
I see.
mechanism to that process.
So the safety would be the extreme traffic.
Public health and safety. Ultimately, a zoning decision must have a public health and safety basis.
Okay.
And
Thank
the
you.
kids going to school.
All right. So we had a motion by Councilman Shavers to put it as R1, second by Councilman Coates. One on your iPad. What? You got a question?
Yeah, this is, real quick, I'm looking at, this is one track. Is it one track or two tracks? Two tracks.
It's SNB, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. C1 and ag to R2.
Okay, the colored map that I'm looking at, everything blue, is that commercial now? And everything green is agriculture now, correct? Okay, and he wants to take all of the green and the blue and make it yellow like that property to the south, is that correct?
Correct. The property to the south is not on.
What is that yellow?
He's got its own property. The actual
Sir.
property is not.
Sir,
It's
Sir.
actually,
sir,
I'm answering it.
if you,
Let me get one person to answer.
we're gonna have,
He wants the whole thing to R2.
yeah. No, sir, we'll call you back up if we're
Okay,
having
so-
our discussion.
What color, and R2 is yellow, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so he wants to take all of the green and all of the blue, which is the ag and commercial, and make it all yellow, which would be all R2, correct?
Because it was zoned incorrectly, just like everything else around it
And
is.
what's below south, that is R2 right now, correct?
It is, but it's not. The actual property is not. Remember how I said his property was zoned incorrectly? It should have never been ag and commercial.
Okay, it should have been,
It should have been R1 along with everything else around it.
Okay, well, what's south of this right now?
9 acres, 3 acres,
It's in yellow, that's R2,
but
correct?
they zoned it incorrectly.
So you're saying his was zoned in incorrectly
And so is everything around it, correct. Ask me how I know, because I just pulled up the zoning map, and I can show you every parcel that is 1 acre. And it's,
So, would he
Nope,
be willing
Ms.
to
Sanford.
pull? Would he be
All right.
willing to pull to read?
All right. So are you
can we-
done?
Can we please call the
Yeah,
question?
we're good.
Clarify the motion real quick.
Yeah, the motion is to approve it as R1.
Okay, I have a little question, one more question about that. This goes through Planning and Zoning Commission, requested as R2. That's a public hearing before we change an ordinance via zoning. And then it comes to here. I mean, wouldn't this be better to go back to Planning Commission to let them decide whether they want to do
Sure.
R1 or not? I mean, because here we are not
Well,
even,
I'm
so
good with
the
that.
thing is that then it has to go through the full round of,
my question is, if we vote to put to R1 and it fails, then is it going to stay like it
Then it-
is, or are they going to?
then you have to go back to the original of,
Make a sub-motion.
I agree
I'll
with that,
second it.
John.
I'll second it.
no, you'd go back to the original of the R2 and vote on that.
With a recommendation of R1. I'll do it.
So the recommendation, the motion on the floor is for it to be zoned as R1. If it fails as R1,
Then let's just
then
see where it
we'll
goes
do
from
the
there.
motion for it to be approved as R2.
Can we please?
Well, he's not going to take it back for R1 because he don't want
Or
R1.
the, you got a motion. I mean,
Let's just vote, please.
Councilman Mangus.
Do you want to make a substitute? Sorry. Do you want to, Mr. Wascom, do you want to make a substitute
You know,
motion?
I don't know, Mr. Mangus, how to do it. I just want to
I mean, you
clarify
can
what
do
we're
a,
doing here.
you can do
Mr.
a
Cascio?
substitute.
So currently, the motion and second on the table is to amend these parcels of property to R1. If Mr. Wascom wants to, he can make a substitute motion prior to that vote to send it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Or approve it as R2.
Or approve it as R2, whatever, he can make a substitute motion for either one, but right now, the motion is
The motion.
R1.
I don't have a substitute motion. I was just asking questions.
Yep. Yeah,
Mr. Wascom.
Councilman Watts.
Marty, Steve, how we stand legally for as not following the planning and zoning?
The planning and zoning process, because of the way the Livingston Parish Plan of Government is structured, the planning and zoning process is a recommendation to the council. Only the council can make these kinds of decisions. So it has come here as a recommendation, and I've indicated to you what the parameters are in terms of how you can proceed. And, you know, the actual policy issues are those for the council to decide.
All right, Councilman Mangus.
Mr. Keene, can you explain why maybe planning and zoning, I don't know if you're the right person for this, but why is the R2 area below, south of his, so large? I mean, if R2 is supposed to be,
Yeah, I can explain. This is like this all across the whole entire parish, where there's things that are miszoned. There's some that are 400 and 500 acres. You got huge ones down there in Dean's district that are R2. Makes no sense, you know. So, but they had a huge job to do. So, and we had to get it in there before the moratorium was lifted. So we did interim zoning, got it in, and we'll be through in November getting everything in. But until then, there's going to be hard decisions on what people would like done. People calling every day. I think I had 8 or 9 calls a day for zoning changes for December meeting. You know, we're already got November full.
So to me, this sounds like it needs to go back to planning and zoning to be vetted as R1, and they need to speak with the property owner before.
But the owner would have to ask for that. He don't
Can-
want R1.
but we
I don't
can
know
make
if
the
you can or
motion.
not. I guess you can turn it down and then send it back. I don't know.
All right, so there's a motion for our, go ahead.
Actually, Mr. Steve just told us that what planning and zoning does is give us a recommendation. It's upon us to make a final decision on what we want to do.
All right, so the motion is for R1 If there's nobody else to speak on it. All right. There's a second? Yep. For voting for R1. Vote on your iPad. That motion failed. The noes were Councilman Watts, Councilman Taylor, Councilman Wascom, Councilman Mangus, and Councilman Goff. The yeses were Councilman Shavers, Councilwoman Sanford, Councilman Coates, and Councilman Erde. So I really don't know what to do from here. Legal.
So if the motion fails, then the property remains zoned as is prior to the meeting, which is whatever green and blue is on your map.
Huh?
You
The
have
question of
before-
R2. So
you
we have to go back
before
to the
you-
question of R2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So back to the question of R2.
I make a motion to deny.
I've got a motion.
I'll second.
Got a second by Councilman, got a motion to deny from Councilman Shavers, second by Councilman Coates. So if it fails at denied, then it automatically approves, right? Is our they're denying R2. But what if, okay.
Wait. Can I pull my motion
Yes, you can pull your motion.
and make a motion to send it back to the planning and zoning to be reconsidered for R1?
Second. We have a motion and a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna waddle myself up here. Sarah Ferris, Planning and Zoning Commission.
I got a question for you.
It's come to us twice. I would like to understand what you want us to do when it comes back for the third time. I may or may
Right.
not be there. Because I'm
I would
having a
like
baby
to.
very
I would like.
soon.
I would like to answer that. I would like to answer
Okay.
that. So when you guys were, and this is my understanding, when you guys were looking at the surrounding areas, y'all were just seeing dark yellow. Nobody was actually looking at and nobody mentioned this in the meeting. But not only was his property zoned incorrectly, but so was everything else. Everything around him is R1.
There's a mix in that neighborhood to
Behind
to
it.
the southeast. That's a lot of large lots.
Correct.
There are some that are 0.7, 0.8. They don't fit really, neatly they don't fit neatly into R1, but they're not really small enough where they're technically R2 lots either. The first time it came to us, so the disagreement that Mr. Fontenot referenced, the first time it came to us, the reactivation of R1.5 was being considered by the council. And so what we asked at that time is, would you consider R1.5? And it seemed to us that he would take that under consideration. So we were kind of waiting, telling him, we don't really like R2 here, but you don't like R1. Maybe R1.5 is a happy medium. You want to wait and see what the council does. Came back to us and said, well, I don't want R1.5, I want R2. So he's come to us twice with R2. So if it comes back to P&Z again, unless he just changes his mind on what he wants, he's coming back with R2 again. And then we'll be back in this same discussion. So we're kind of caught in an endless do loop here. I don't look for Mr. Fontenot to change what he's asking for, and I don't look for anybody on P&Z really to change how they voted. So you'll probably still have a 5-3, 6-3 vote. So I don't know that you're going to really accomplish anything by sending it back. That's my only concern.
Thank you. Councilman Mangus.
Only thing I want to
go ahead.
I wanted to add is currently we've already introduced an R2 ordinance, and it's going to planning and zoning at the next planning and zoning meeting. And that R2 ordinance is requiring that R2 developments be part of larger developments. So they'd have to be in an R1, R1.5. They can't be a singlet, only R2 area. So if Mr. Fontenot was wanting to sell more lots, R2 may not be the best way to do that if it passes.
All right. Councilman Shavers.
I would like to table this.
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
All right, what's your substitute motion?
My substitute motion is I'm tired of pushing this down the road and pushing it back to planning and zoning. We are elected to do a job. My opinion is let's do the job. Either vote for it as R2 or you vote for it as R, against it as R2. I don't really care. My issue and my substitute motion is that we approve it at R2, and this is why. I've had this discussion with Mr. Ryan. The biggest traffic issue on that particular street is because of the school. In every school, including Walker, I fight it. I know. Don't go around it at 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And thank goodness for the police officers. They do a wonderful job. 30, 45 minutes, it's gone. I think that's the same thing on this road. I've been on it many a times. Have a friend that lives there. The second thing is I don't think that is zoned totally out of the question in R2. I think his is zoned totally out of the question in commercial, because he could go out there and put anything he wants right now in that community in commercial on that front. And I don't think that the people of that community in that little bitty street going to want that. As I've spoken to Mr. Shavers earlier today, and as late as an hour ago, you got commercial on one end, commercial on the other. This could be a very nice little community. If he does do homes on that, it's curb and gutter. It's homes. If we approve R1, you have the opportunity for mobile homes. Less density, less number of lots, but you have the opportunity for mobile homes. If we do R1.5, it's the same thing. If you do R2, there's minimum amount of what can be developed there, and it hits a state highway on both ends. Okay, hits a state highway on both ends. I think it would be a great place to raise a family because it's on one little street right in the middle of Watson, and the homes across the street were built in the 70s. So you have a very diverse mix, but the mix is all family homes. Whether it's 0.7 acres or whether it's 9 acres or whatever it is, it's all residential. Yes, there's a school, and they have access to 1019. So my opinion is R2, and they'll have to go through the process like Mr. Maggin said, and we have moved those lots from 60 foot to 70 foot with 8-foot setbacks. It's a different development that's going to come now versus what it's been in the past.
Is a development coming? Is a
I'm just saying
development
that
coming?
whatever one is insinuating is it's a development.
That's my concern.
So if it is a development, what I am saying is I think it is in my world, Ricky's world, it is a good fit. And zoning is designed not to stop development, but to put it where it is appropriate. So a piece of commercial that's right there, how it got passed, I don't know, is not proper.
All right, Mr.
R2, R1, yes. My motion is that we accept the R2.
All right, so we got a motion by Councilman Goff for R2. Do I have a second? Got a second by Councilman Watts. Councilman Coates.
All right. I disagree with you, Mr. Goff, and I disagree with you for these reasons. If you go in with a quarter-acre lot in this setting, and you have 20 acres, is that correct, 20 acres that we're talking about here? 27, okay, so even more. So we're going on the way low side of this. You go in with that, and if each home has 2 adults that live there, you're talking about 160 more cars on the road, and that's not including if they have an adult child that lives at home that drives a vehicle or something like that. And like y'all just said a little while ago, this would be such a great place to put this, and et cetera, et cetera. That's not going to be a great place because that's going to completely gridlock Watson. No one's going to be able to move in Watson.
No, sir, that's not true.
I disagree, and this is my time to talk. Thank you. So, for those reasons, this is not a good fit. I agree with what Ryan originally said with the 1 acre lots, because then you're talking about 20 lots, or 27, whatever the case may be, and 2 adults living in each with maybe a kid here and there that's driving. It's a lot less impact on the entire area of Watson.
Okay.
And that's why I would be against it.
Thank you. These are the last 2, and then we're going to vote. Councilman Shavers? You're not going to vote? You're not going to say anything?
No, I'm not seconding that.
No, it's already seconded.
So, Ricky, I really appreciate your passion for development in my area and advocating for it, but it's my time, thank you. But I was elected on slowing down development, and this is one of the unique ways that we need to do it. The people of my area, they know what's coming. They know what's coming down the road. They know development is coming. And if I can protect my people from stuff like this, Dean's absolutely correct. It's roughly 100 to 160 additional vehicles on that road. And for you to not see a traffic problem with that, it's alarming because the traffic problems are already there at 16 and at 10:19 in the morning. And you say it's only during school. Well, there is no school in 3 months out of the year. So it's the majority school is in, and we're dealing with these traffic problems. This is my district, guys. And I'm going to just take it a step further and say, if you called me tomorrow and say, I need your support on a rezone request, you got it. I don't ask questions. I do my research. If I've got questions on something or if I don't agree, I call you guys. We work it out. That's how we work together. We may not always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, if you called me and said, I need your support on this, I would not hesitate. And I'm not getting it from you guys because this is my district, my constituents that I live with on a daily basis that I am trying to protect the health, safety, and welfare of. And you guys seem to not support me when I try to do that. So I just want to make that very known. And John Mangus, you and I had a conversation earlier, and you know where I stand.
All right. Are you done? Councilman Watts?
We keep going back to the traffic, but half your district is 4-lane highway. How much 4-lane you got, Dean? None. You know how much I got? None. Aaron, how much you got? None. So if we're going to talk about traffic, you got the best from 1019 south is 4-lane highway.
But this is...
It's a half a mile north.
But it's not 4-lane. That's the problem.
It's a half a mile to get where it's at. I mean, look, I've sit in the traffic with Ricky's talking about on Highway 190 in Walker. It's just, when you got schools, nobody rides the bus.
So we're just supposed to say, okay, let's just put more.
Well, I mean, I can't stop a development because of traffic whenever I'm sitting there.
You can't.
Well, you look at my district. Have you been down there lately? Have you been on a road Walker North at 7 o'clock in the morning? Or 6 o'clock in the evening?
And you're getting a brand new roundabout.
You know when it's projected?
Doesn't matter though. Yeah, you're supposed to.
All right, hey, we're
2030 or 35.
Stop the crosstalk. All right, Councilman Goff. Councilman Goff?
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide whether I want to speak or not. I know y'all missed me last week or whenever it was.
I'll give you 5 seconds to make that decision. 3, 2, 1. Speak. No speak.
So it was very clear earlier today on the phone where I was at when I spoke to Mr. Ryan Shavers and what I felt was right for this particular area. I would love for it to be R1, but the gentleman doesn't want R1. Should I leave it commercial and allow anything commercial to build up there? Probably not. Something needs to be done with it. Ag back there, that's no reason. That's not right. So we can't kick the bucket back to the planning and zoning and expect them to do some miracle work and do it. So either we vote yes, move it through, or we vote no, and it fails. It's fine. So I am very aware of it. I'm just going to shut up before I say something that we're not a
All right,
police
we're gonna go ahead and vote.
State the motion.
The motion was to approve R2. To approve at R2, which is the recommendation of planning and zoning. Councilman Erdy, Councilman Mangus. All right, that passed with 5 yeses, 4 noes. The yeses were Councilman Watts, Councilman Taylor, Councilman Wascom, Councilman Mangus, Councilman Coates, Councilman Erdy. The noes were Councilman Shavers, Councilwoman Sandiford, Councilwoman Dean, and Councilman Erdy. F, case number 25-3014378 Florida Boulevard, parcel number 024719, 7 lots from C1 to R2. That says Council District 1. This came back from the planning and zoning with a denial. So, is there anybody here for a public hearing or for a public comment?
Yes.
Yes. All right, you filled out a card.
I did.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Justin.
Name and address.
Yeah. Justin, 8972 Delaware Drive, Denham Springs. Good evening. So I want to clarify, when we did first go before planning, the rezoning request was presented as if it was actually just a single track and not 7 individual tracks to R2. And it wasn't made clear on our part, which is on us, that the property had already been subdivided. Y'all should have the plaques in front of y'all. And it was already been approved and recorded as 7 individual lots. It's not one large track. It's actually 7 individual smaller tracks. Y'all do have the plaques, correct? The maps?
Yes.
Okay.
That's in the packet.
So yeah, that's already been recorded in the clerk's office, and it's been approved. Now this, again, created some confusions about the intentions of the R2 request zoning. I just want to make it clear that, again, the request for the R2 is for each of the 7 existing lots, not just one large tract, right? I've also met with the Parish Planning Department, Ms. Dee, Mr. Lonnie, Mr. Scooter, and the neighbors of the surrounding area to understand what would be best to serve that area. The neighbors also met separately with the Parish Planning, Mr. Lonnie directly, and together they made it very clear that they prefer R2 zoning, and we want to honor that. We appreciate your time, happy to answer any questions about this, and we respectfully ask for your support to rezone this to R2 for each of these 7 lots.
All right, Councilman Watts.
Yeah. Justin, just a second. These lots are 100-foot wide. So to create a R2 situation, you need a 60-foot servitude off a 100-foot lot plus 7 or 8 foot setback off a property line. So you're down to about 30 feet, a little bit over 30 feet to build a house. You know, plus yardage. So, I mean, and the neighbors, they all sit down and, they said they'd rather R2 than commercial. So we even offered R1. They said they wanted R2. So they all agreed to it.
So do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
A motion to deny?
No.
Oh, a motion. I need you to make a clear, legible motion.
Yeah, make a motion.
A motion to approve R2. So I got a motion from Councilman Watts. Do I have a second? Huh? All right, I got a motion to approve. Is there a second? Oh, there's a second from Councilman Wascom. All right, vote on your iPad.
Whoa.
This is to approve an R2, not to deny it.
Excuse me. This is 12F, right?
This is 12F.
Okay, I've got a petition against rezoning here, and it's got 40 signatures on it. In the packet? Did no one else see that?
What happened, what did planning and zoning vote on that?
If I could speak for a minute. It came to planning and zoning. The neighbors were told a mega developer was coming in and was going to develop this into a large-scale subdivision. So they all was in contestment of it. The developer's agent went and met with the landowners around, in addition to Mr. Lonnie, and explained what the plan was. We have a map, a plat that was already approved. It can't be subdivided anymore from this. The developer agreed to pull it from the last agenda. That's why it was pulled off of y'all's last agenda, to give him some time along with the councilman and have our office assure the homeowners of what could and could not be done according to the ordinances that are in place right now. So after that meeting last week, they all agreed that they would prefer it to be R2. They did not want to run the risk of if it was R1 where mobile homes could come in, and they did not like the idea of commercial because it was a lot of residential around, and they did not want commercial of strip malls or convenience stores right there amongst their houses. So that was when, with everyone in agreement, decided to put it back on the agenda, and that's where we are today.
All right, I have a question. Who decided? Who all decided?
All of the homeowners that signed that they're not against it anymore.
Are any here?
They're not here. No.
I can confirm that Anthony Fiducia did call me and say that the homeowners are okay with it.
Correct.
They are.
Who's Anthony?
He's the developer.
Okay. Well, of course he's going to say that. Of course he's
Okay, so the motion, the motion on the floor is to approve it as R2. I got a second by Councilman Wascom. If there's no further questions, vote on your iPad. That was 8 yeses, 1 no, the no being Councilman Coates. All right, 13, adopt the minutes, get a motion to adopt the August 28th minutes, 2025. We can do them all at one time. Well, I think we had several people that were out throughout this whole thing. So do I get a motion to adopt 28 minutes, August 28th?
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Goff, second by Councilman Mangus. All in favor say aye. Aye. Vote on your iPad, I'm sorry. So that was unanimous, yes. B, September 11th, we'll do all 3 of these. That was the regular council meeting, the Jubin Crossing Economic Development meeting, and the Border Review meeting. Do I got a motion? Got a motion by Councilman Wascom, second by Councilman Watts. Vote on your iPad, because I know some of y'all weren't here. Got 8 yeses, 1 abstain. Councilman Goff abstain. All right, introduction of ordinance number 14. Miss Sandy, would you read that introduction?
This will be proposed ordinance 25-26. It's an ordinance to enact and adopt the 2025 Master Plan for Livingston Parish and to amend Article 1 in general of Chapter 2 Administration of the Code of Ordinances of Livingston Parish by amending Section 2-26, the Livingston Parish Comprehensive Master Plan entitled Envision Livingston. The public hearing will be held at 6 p.m. on October 23rd, 2025. And I have a question for the attorneys. Do I publish this in full or just by title? Because there's a lot in full. It's huge.
You can just say yes or no.
It's got a lot of maps and things in it, so I think the thing to do is post it on the website and post the title.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so this is an introduction. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Mangus, second by Councilman Goff. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous. All right, public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance 25-20. Miss Sandy.
Okay. This is proposed ordinance 25-20. It's an ordinance to amend Chapter 130 Telecommunications by amending Section 130-1 Regulation of Telecommunication Towers of the Code of Ordinances of Livingston Parish.
All right. I'm going to open this up for public hearing. Do we have any cards?
Mr. Chip?
All right.
Hi, excuse me. Good evening, Chip Lyons, 201 St. Charles Avenue, New Orleans, Louisiana. Here on behalf of AT&T Wireless. First, we appreciate the opportunity to work with the parish and parish council on the amendment to the ordinance, to the telecom ordinance, and we appreciate the fact that that you are focusing on this issue as the parish continues to grow, as has been alluded to. demand for cellular services and data services is going to continue to increase with that growth. The revised ordinance creates sort of a specific, there are certain standards in the ordinance that are there right now. The revised ordinance creates one particular exception where if you don't meet setbacks under certain criteria and you're adjacent to in a certain zoning, and depending on the circumstance, you get the consent of the adjoining property owner and/or something from the entity that maintains the parish road or state highway, if that's also a setback issue. In that circumstance, tower company, whether it's AT&T, Verizon, whichever company could come in, and essentially it's almost like a pre-approved variance or waiver. So we appreciate that. The concern from AT&T's perspective, and I think you've certainly heard a lot about it tonight, is that you're not going to be able to, at this point, come up with every conceivable circumstance in which a tower, in which someone may not be able to meet the requirements of the ordinance. And the current ordinance, the current telecom ordinance, specifically states that an applicant can come to this body and ask for a deviation or a waiver or a variance. The different terms are used. The concern with the new ordinance is that it specifically, it just doesn't provide for that. And I've noticed that on the agenda tonight, there are several resolutions to authorize waivers from other provisions of the parish code. There's been a lot of debate tonight about changing zoning. And so on the telecom ordinance, the only request is not that you change the rules, but that just if there's a circumstance where someone comes in and they can't find property that meets that specific criteria, that applicant, again, whether it's AT&T, Verizon, whoever it is, can come in front of this body and ask for a waiver or a variation or a deviation from the requirements and make the case for it. And if we make the case, great. And if we don't, then but it's essentially just an opportunity to participate in the process and seek a waiver if we can't meet all of the criteria. So I appreciate your consideration and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions? You got one question.
Mr. Cascio, I mean,
Yes, sir.
if this specific ordinance that he's talking about basically doesn't have a provision in there that waivers, I mean, we have ordinances all in the parish that don't have
I was
those
gonna-
provisions,
I was
so
gonna-
we could still give a variance even if that is not in there. Am I correct?
That's correct. I was going to jump in and say that there are a lot of ordinances that don't have the variance process spelled out in it, but of course, any of them are subject to a variance request.
Does that answer?
Well, I'm not sure that that's the position that the parish attorneys are.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold up. Councilman Coates, go ahead.
I was just going to elaborate on probably the same thing Steve was about to say. And, Mr. Steve did a great job writing this ordinance, and the ordinance is that we're going to have somewhat of, and so this terminology was used earlier, a checklist. And that way, when people want to put up a cell tower or a utility such as that, they're not going to have to come to us every time for a waiver to be too close to the road or to be too far back into, too far up to avoid wetlands or something like that. They would be able to look at a drawing. We're not New York City, okay? We still have areas to put cell towers. So that's the main gist of what we were trying to do, is formulate an ordinance so that they didn't have to do that. And Mr. Steve, I'll turn it over to you. You have a lot more details.
Somebody left their glasses up here, so I just.
That was from our meeting last night.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There was a very specific reason that in putting this ordinance together, we did everything we could to get the council out of the waiver business for this. I told you the first time I ever came before this council, I guess it was a previous council, I said, my job's to point out the snakes so you don't step on them. Well, there is one here with the cell towers that is a golden opportunity to step on it. And if you look at the cases where councils have been sued all around the corner about cell towers, they all get sued for stepping on the same snake. And I've made it so you don't have to do it. What happens is there is a federal statute that preempts a lot of the reasons that you may be concerned about cell towers, like RF and all those kind of things. But zoning, safety in terms of towers falling, that's absolutely your jurisdiction. But in the federal statute, they have created a process where any kind of waiver or anything, waiver, permit, whatever you call it, that you consider, you're basically acting as a court. You're acting as an administrative court. You've got to have a record. You've got to have a written decision. You've got a limited period of time to do it. You have infinite opportunity to do something that doesn't track perfectly, and if you miss a half a step, you get sued with an expedited proceeding in federal court. And so what I did was create a situation to try to keep you out of federal court over that. The ordinance is specifically limited to the things that you have jurisdiction over, and you're not in the waiver business. It's got a series of rules, and if they follow those rules, they don't need anything other than a construction permit. If they don't follow those rules, they have one other option, and that is under certain circumstances, they can go to the surrounding property owners who their tower might fall on, and they can get an authorization from them. If a tower may fall on a road, they can go to the entity that has the road, and it says after they consider evacuation plans, then they can approve it. But you're out of the waiver business with this, and that's the whole idea. Anything you do that creates a waiver is going to mean that you're going to be sitting as judges and having to do the hearing under federal law. And so to get you out of that business, I drafted it this way.
Thank you. All right, so is there a motion?
There's a motion.
Motion by Councilman Coates, second by Councilman Goff. There's nobody else to speak for it. Vote on your iPad. There is 8 yeses, 1 abstain. Councilman Watts, abstain. All right. Number 16, public hearing and adoption of LP Ordinance 2519. Adoption of an... Mrs. Sandy, go ahead. Turn your mic on.
This is LP Ordinance 2519, an ordinance to amend Chapter 125 of the Code of Ordinances of Livingston Parish, Subdivision Regulations, Section 125-37, requirements for minor subdivisions.
All right. I'm going to open this up for public hearing. Do we have any cards? No cards. Anybody want to speak for or against? Close public hearing. Do we have a motion?
17. No, 16.
We're on 16.
What do you need?
We need a motion for 16.
I ought to pull it, but I need a motion. I'll make a motion to adopt as amended.
All right, you have to amend it. All right, so you need to...
Name the amendments?
Yes. All right, do you want Raven to read the amendments?
Either she can or I can. Raven, it's up to you.
Miss Raven, would you read that? Yes.
Do y'all want me to read the whole thing? Or
just the amendments.
Just what is
just
being amended? Okay. In section 125-37, requirements for minor subdivisions, we're adding re-subdivisions of property. If you go to the second paragraph, one of the sentences at the bottom, it says the planning director may send the minor subdivisions to the Planning and Zoning Commission. We're taking that Planning and Zoning Commission out. In number 1, we're changing 24 to 36, both times. We are taking out in the event of death or secession of the property owner may be waived to shall be reconsidered upon submission of appropriate legal documentation. You go to the next page. We are taking out the entirety of number 6. And then for 9, we are taking out 2 signs that will be placed corner in a V-shaped formation. We're taking that out. And then B, name of subdivision or development if applicable. And then D, we are taking out in the development. You go to the next page, we are adding the drainage plan shall be submitted to the planning department. The planning department shall send it to the drainage district if applicable for review and/or recommendations. The drainage district will have no more than 20 days to approve or produce a written letter of objection to the planning department for the drainage plan. We are taking out be deemed and labeled as the parent tract and will require no impact study. We are adding completed by an engineer. We're changing 30 to 20 days. And then we're doing 12 lots or adding lots or more. And then that is it.
All right, so we got a motion to adopt as amendment. Do I have a second? We got another way?
You have to amend and then adopt as amended.
Okay,
So you have
we
to
have
vote
to-
to amend this.
So we got to vote to amend this. So I got a motion for, who made the motion? Councilman
I did.
Shavers, and then Councilman, so we have to vote to amend, so vote on your iPad. Councilman Mangus.
Oh, shit. Raven, vote for me, please.
All right, that was 9 yeses to amend, and then to adopt as a, so now we need to vote to have the adoption, right? To adopt as amended. Okay, so I need a motion to adopt as amended. Do we have a motion? Councilman Shavers, and then second by Councilman Mangus. Vote on your iPad.
Quick discussion.
Yes.
I basically wanted to say, guys, some of the councilmen didn't know that this was in the CRS too, also because of our development code. Councilman Shavers showed a lot of leadership in pulling his and let this go forward. We saved 1 month instead of reintroducing. And it seems like a lot of paperwork, at the last minute. But because of his leadership, we don't have to stop. We continue to the next step now. And thank you, Tron.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
I was just fixing to say exactly what Mr. Delat said, so I'm not.
All right. So we got a motion by Councilman Shavers, second by Councilman Mangus. Vote on your iPad. Raven, you're slacking. Great movie reference. All right. That passed unanimous. All right. All right, number 17, introduction of an ordinance. Ms. Raven, would you read that one? Oh, wait, we're pulling that one. Number 17 just got pulled. All right. 18, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of section 126-4 commercial development submittals to allow a 575 square foot addition to the St. Joseph Catholic Church mausoleum in Council District 8. Councilman Coates.
Yes, that's the church I attend, and we definitely need the addition to the mausoleum, so appreciate if y'all would help me out with that, and it's motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Coates, second by Councilman Mangus. Vote on your iPad. That passed unanimous. We already did 19. 20, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of section 125-67-6F, submittals to subdivide in a named subdivision, Sleepy Efferson's Acres, located off of 11303 Sleepy Efferson Lane, Denham Springs, Louisiana. Council District 2, Councilman Shavers.
Yeah, he's just trying to subdivide out 3 acres to for his daughter to build a home. Hasn't built the home. It's just a lot. They want to subdivide out 3 acres for his daughter to build a home. And unfortunately, it's in a named subdivision, so got to have a waiver.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
That's a motion by Councilman Shavers, second by Councilman Watson. Councilwoman Sandiford.
I just have a question. Why didn't they subdivide?
What do you mean?
Why didn't they go and have a survey done to oh, never mind.
All right. Vote on your iPad. That passed 8 yeses, 1 no, the no being Councilwoman Sandiford. 21, Finance Committee.
So we're going to have two different finance meetings that will be announced to cover specifically the budget. So if there's any questions also that y'all may have from myself or any member of the committee, feel free to propose those. I think the administration has all opened their door as well. The final one would be, Ms. Sandy, the public hearing for the budget is going to be when? November? To introduce the final?
December 4th.
December 4th.
December 4th is when it has to be introduced? Okay, I'm gonna get with Ms. Sandy, make sure that we put that on next meeting to go ahead and set that for a public hearing that far out, just to try to be as transparent as possible on what's going on, and we'll start having meetings before that, but that's it.
Infrastructure.
I'm gonna set it, it is gonna, I'll let you.
Infrastructure Committee.
Infrastructure Committee, everyone, earlier we did the bonding part of that, so since I'm back kind of in the groove, so to speak, we will be having an infrastructure meeting to kind of go over a lot of those roads. I think a lot of you have seen a lot of that already, but I want to go over the packet with each one of y'all, and then we will have a rather lengthy probably meeting for the infrastructure committee to kind of shore up exactly what this bonding money is going to be for, and kind of the roads and things of that nature before we have to actually vote on that, so everybody have as much input as possible. So
Okay. Ordinance Committee.
Yeah, we're going to meet next Tuesday. Agenda will be out Monday.
Okay. District Attorney's Report.
Yeah, just to give you an update of what's going on at the district attorney's office, I want to congratulate one of my coworkers. About a year ago or so, I prosecuted a case here in Livingston Parish, and I was able to get the first ever physical castration of a sex offender in the state of Louisiana. Just a few weeks ago, another assistant district attorney, Gregory Stallnecker, got the second physical castration of a sex offender. I think if we keep up this pace, we're sending a message and setting a precedent that in this district, that type of behavior will not be tolerated, and hopefully these would-be offenders will decide to go live somewhere else. Other than
That's
that,
awesome.
nothing to report.
Does anybody have councilman comments? All right, Councilman Erdy. All right, go with Councilman Coates first.
All right, I just want to say that we had a town hall meeting last night. It went really well. We had a lot of participation. Is regarding the proposed carbon capture pipeline that they're trying to bring into our parish. I would encourage everyone to attend the next meeting. We had a lot of people that did show up, elected officials. I just want to name them and thank them for their attendance, and that was Senator Valerie Hodges. We had Councilman Goff, Councilman Erdy, Councilman Sandiford, and myself, and we even had State Rep Kim Coates, who isn't even in Livingston Parish. She's out of Tangi, but she came and spoke to people as well. And I think it was a very good introduction, or not introduction, I'm sorry. Very good conversation and exchange of ideas. And we're going to try to get answers for those people. And if y'all have any concerns about that, anyone, just call us. We're trying to organize something. We have November 1st is going to be the Air Products. That was the second. I'm sorry, correction. It's going to be November 2nd will be the Air Products open comment section for the oil wells that are, not the oil wells, the CCS wells that they're proposing to put in the lake. That's going to be in Laplace. That's also an election day. Imagine that. So I want to make sure everyone knows that well in advance so we can all get there in large numbers and give our opinions on what we think about this pipeline in our area.
You said November 2nd?
No, I think
Isn't
it's
November
first.
2nd Sunday? That's a Sunday.
No, it's the first. That's election days usually. Yeah, it's the second. No, wait. Hang on, I've got it on my phone. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but let me make sure. No, it's in
Yeah.
November 1st. Apologize for the delay there. It's going to be
looking at-
November 1st.
I'd say, I'm looking at the calendar, it says November 1st on a Saturday. Okay, so November 1st. Okay. Councilman Erdy.
Yes, I just want to remind everybody that on October the 4th is our yearly Hungarian Harvest Festival dance, and a lot of goings on with good food and many, many more dances this year. It starts at 4 o'clock at the Springfield Fire Station and just goes on into the night. And all I can tell you is it's just something to see if you've never been there before, with the dancing and the food. And we got some special dancers flying in to do some extra dances. And we have the Hungarian ambassador to the United States going to be there again this year. He will be attending. So we're proud of that. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Councilman Mangus.
I wanted to mention that a longtime public servant in Livingston Parish, Robert Ardoin, passed away this last week. He was a longtime veteran of Walker Police Force, Livingston Parish Sheriff's Department, just a really good individual, and he passed away fairly suddenly. So I just wanted to please keep him in the repose of his soul in your prayers, as well as his wife, Miss Arnett. It's just a very, very tragic, very good servant. And then the other thing I want to mention is the men's club from Immaculate Conception. We're going to be selling spaghetti dinners. So let me know if you're interested. That'll be this Sunday.
Councilman Watts.
Yeah, we also lost a former councilman this past week. Mr. Eddie Wagner passed away, and a super nice guy, super good, and done a very good job with the council.
And it's not my place, but I would ask everybody on this council to keep the Sanford family in their prayers. They've had a couple of losses this week, and so just pray for them. Okay. And if that's the end of it, do I get a motion to adjourn? Got a motion by Councilwoman Sanford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.